when I was assigned to cover the Marsh Arabs. This is a small community of rebel Iraqis who live in an area that people believe was a setting for the Garden of Eden, where Adam and Eve are supposed to have lived. It's a beautiful place full of lakes and rivers and wonderful lifestyle going back 5,000 years. But to get there was like asking for the impossible. I was hated in Baghdad. The government hated me. I'd been writing about their nuclear program. So no visa for me. How do I get to the Marsh Arabs? And then I had a brainwave. Oh, I know. I'll go to Iran and I'll cross the border illegally from the south and get into the Marsh Arabs that way. But that's easier said than done. Anyway, I went to Tehran. I knew people there. And sure enough, within a week or two, we managed to get three young men in their 20s. They spoke a bit of English, Parsi, obviously. And one man spoke Arabic as well. And we traveled down to Ahvaz. And then they said to me suddenly, okay, we're now in Iraq. How did they know we were in Iraq? I don't know, but they knew. And they said, look, here is a road that goes from Baghdad all the way down to southern Iraq. And we have to cross this road. But be very careful because there are military patrols everywhere. So, for about 10 minutes, we waited on the east side of the road, with our heads down, looking left and right. Are there any military patrols? And they weren't, and we then ran. They said, come on, run with us, run with us. And we ran across that main road. And these men, my group, they helped me make contact with the locals. So the story was all about this Marsh Arabs community. Why is Saddam Hussein trying to exterminate this ancient community? And the reason was that they were trying to resist Saddam Hussein. The idea was to record that for a wider international audience as evidence of crimes against humanity. So after 3 weeks, when I'd had enough and I'd got enough information, the time came to go back to Iran. We crossed back into Iran. And we found a very, very small village with some huts. And we're just sitting around chatting. And the leader of that group, those group of so-called friends, said to me, can we have a look at your video? I said, well, yeah, but you can't see it here. You'll have to wait for a studio to see the content properly. And he said, actually, we won't need a studio because we are all members of the Iranian Secret Service. We can't let you keep the tape until it's been scrutinized and properly assessed. And I said, but you people have been my friends. I mean, you can't just suddenly turn the tables on me and say you want to keep my only evidence of this time you spent with the Marsh Arabs. And they said, take it or leave it. If you refuse to help us, we won't let you get a plane ride from Ahvaz, the city of Ahvaz, to Tehran, which is at least 2 hours flight away. So in the middle of the night, maybe 1 a.m, I got out of that hut and I ran out. I didn't know which direction I was going. I found a road. I found a man with an old broken down car. When I got to Tehran, I didn't bother with checking into my hotel. I went straight to the airport. And then from check-in, I went up the stairs. Then I went to customs and they said, what's in your small bag? And I said, there's a video. I took some films of your famous buildings in Tehran that I want to show some friends. And they said, no. We have to check your film. Give it to us and then we'll post it to you in London. But first of all, we have to make sure you haven't got something that's forbidden. I knew if I gave them the film,